war. War never changes. Hey everyone, and welcome to my review for Season 2, Episode 8 of Fallout on Amazon, The Strip. So we've made it to the end of Season 2, and although it wasn't perfect, I did really enjoy this very fun and highly informative finale. This was a jam-packed episode because they really had a lot of storylines to cover, and while I liked most of what I saw, they definitely left a lot unresolved going into Season 3. So let's jump right into the many positives for this episode, starting with Mr. House assisting the ghoul in reaching his wife and daughter's cryopods, only to find them empty, which briefly devastated whatever remained of Cooper's heart, until he saw the postcard in which his wife wrote, "Colorado was a good idea," referencing a pre-war conversation where they discussed moving to Colorado. This re-energized the ghoul, who realized his family may really be alive, and so he removed the Pip-Boy needed to get this far, and left to continue his search for Barbara and Janie, ignoring Mr. House's pleas to stay and help defeat the Enclave. So many of the ghoul and Mr. House's scenes were amazing, and I particularly liked this one because it pointed toward Colorado, which we know from the Fallout Tactics game was home to Vault Zero, the Enclave base run by a corrupted supercomputer called the Calculator, which overwrote part of its original mission to send out robots to pacify the wasteland, instead sending them to destroy humanity until stopped by a legendary warrior and his companions. Vault Zero was built over the Cheyenne Mountain military complex, and since the Enclave base shown throughout Seasons 1 and 2 was clearly located in a mountain range, I really wonder if all this is leading to the ghoul's family being located in Vault Zero, which may have been repurposed after the defeat of the Calculator. Flashing back to pre-war Vegas, Cooper and Barbara Howard happily believe they saved the world by handing cold fusion over to the president, and are surprised to learn Hank McClane and the hotel maid Stephanie Harper spent the whole night talking, and were now engaged, with Hank eager to find her a job at Vault-Tec. Yet just as Barbara and Cooper started to discuss possibly moving to Bakersfield or Colorado, all the payphones near them ring at the same time. Upon answering, Cooper is greeted by Mr. House, who warns him something bad is about to happen, but he wasn't responsible, and so Cooper instructs his wife to deny any involvement and let him take the fall for sake of their daughter, before he's arrested by agents of the House Un-American Activities Committee, likely arranged by the Enclave to discredit this major celebrity who tried to act against them. This was a great scene, and it was really nice to learn Cooper and his wife still loved each other, and feigned their separation to protect their daughter. Then there was the fun fight scene with Maximus in upgraded NCR power armor, complete with a powerful weapon system used to eliminate numerous death claws, even getting an assist from a one-armed Thaddeus using his foot to aim his gun. Finally, when his armor is damaged beyond utility, Maximus leaves it behind and prepares to take on the remaining death claws with a roulette wheel as a shield, and pool cue, which is one of the available weapons in the Fallout games. All the while the residents of Freeside are betting on the outcome of the fight, even refusing to stand with one of their people who wants to help defend their homes. But just when things seem hopeless for Maximus, an NCR ranger shoots the approaching Deathclaw, right before the lost NCR battalion appears, with the female soldier we met earlier in the season at its head. It was so cool seeing a real NCR army in this show, and after being lukewarm about Maximus in Season 1, I have to say they did a good job making him feel more capable and heroic in Season 2, even if he's still lacking in his intelligence stat. One of the more disturbing scenes this episode was Lucy discovering the Congresswoman's head was still alive, but begging to be killed. Poor Lucy hesitates as she's trying so desperately to be moral and non-violent, but keeps getting put in morally ambiguous situations, and so ultimately chooses to put the woman out of her misery, thereby ending Hank's ability to produce more mind control devices. Hank then finds her and states they used Diane Welch as a personality basis to program the devices, because she was a fundamentally good person. Hank then shows Lucy the miniaturized version of the device, which can be implanted beneath the skin, making it nearly impossible to determine who's controlled and who's not. Using one of his servants as an enforcer, he tries to put the device into Lucy's neck, so she'll be like the daughter she used to be. But he's stopped by the ghoul, who kills the enforcer and wounds Hank, leaving Lucy to decide his fate. Though she puts the same miniaturized device into her father, Lucy hesitates to activate it as she still cares for him and wants to learn more about the purpose behind his work. Hank is vague, but does make it clear there's a larger power behind everything that's happened, which we know is the Enclave, and that the surface is more of an experiment than the vaults, claiming to have sent his research into the wasteland where others can use it to create their own mind-controlled populations. Hank then says goodbye and activates his own device, devastating Lucy, who, despite all his evils, still had love for her father and didn't want to see him go. Yet just as she's left alone with her misery, she's found by Maximus and they happily reunite. Down in Vault 32, Chet loses control of the mob he raised when they start chanting death to management, while an enraged Steph opens Hank's keepsake to reveal a black Pip-Boy she uses to contact the Enclave, identifying herself as Hank's wife and requesting they initiate Phase 2, which to me sounds like they'll be conducting FEV research on the residents. Although I very much like this finale, there were a few negatives for me, like basically all the Norm scenes, as I really struggle to have any interest in this character or storyline. It was kinda cool seeing the Radroach attack, but pretty lame that only Norm and Claudia survive. I really just found this whole story boring, and honestly for me it was the bad guy Ronnie who really emerged as the only semi-interesting character. Another negative I'll mention involves the Deathclaw fight scene. Although I largely enjoyed it, I did get the impression the Deathclaws in the show are significantly weaker than they were in the games, as I remember struggling so much with just one of them, while in the episode they were swatting them aside one by one with relative ease. I also want to mention that I was surprised House didn't predict the ghoul would immediately abandon him once he got what he wanted, as that seems like a pretty obvious conclusion to reach. And lastly, I'll just say that I was disappointed we didn't get more Legion throughout the season. I loved their appearances in episode 3 and 8, but definitely wanted more than what we got. And it would have been great to actually see the NCR versus Legion battle this episode instead of it being set up for season 3. Now, moving on to my top 5 moments, I'll start with the Mr. House and Ghoul reunion, where they strike a deal for the Ghoul to leave Cold Fusion behind while Mr. House helps locate and reach Barbara and Janie Howard in the underground Vault-Tec office. This was a great scene and conversation, but what I most enjoyed was the possible reference to Courier 6 from the New Vegas game, as Mr. House claims his body became a target for wanderers with something to prove, as he was poisoned, shot, and bludgeoned with a crowbar. All of which suggests a possible canon ending for the game, where the Courier killed House and replaced him with the Yes Man Securitron robot to secure the independence of New Vegas. Once the Yes Man's consciousness transferred out of his robot body, it collapsed to the floor, similar to the robot we see in the episode lying next to the supercomputer. Yes Man would then undergo an upgrade, which in theory may have been a backup where Mr. House's consciousness survived and reasserted control over the system. All of this is speculation, of course, as the show doesn't outright say what happened, but for me there was a definite suggestion that the Yes Man ending is canon for Fallout New Vegas. At the number 4 spot, I chose the Ghoul making his way to the underground Vault-Tec office, while Mr. House spoke to him about the Enclave which oversaw Vault-Tec, and was the secret power behind everything, outsmarting both Cooper Howard, who gave them Cold Fusion, and Mr. House through their manipulation of events which likely led to the end of the world and controlled the future of the Wasteland. Just like in the games, he mentions that his predictive algorithm got the timing for the end of the world slightly wrong, which we know was off by about 20 hours, and also reveals that it was the Enclave which let loose the Deathclaws on Vegas, chasing away the population and destroying his attempts to make the city a hub of technology and innovation, making it clear there is no safety anywhere as long as the Enclave exists. The end of this segment also saw a very cool little addition, as when the Ghoul enters the underground Vault-Tec area, they change the camera angle to a top-down view, similar to the CRPG isometric view we got in Fallouts 1 and 2. As for the third best moment, I chose the post-credit scene where Scribe Dane brings blueprints to Elder Cleric Quintus, who declares he's done trying to be a unifier, and so will become a destroyer, revealing the schematics for a prototype Liberty Prime robot they will presumably use to conquer the other Brotherhood chapters. This was a great reveal, but there was another thing I really liked about this scene, and that was when Dane walked past all the wounded, and we see a disheartened soldier sitting down while his power armor is repaired, which is a very similar shot from the Fallout 4 intro. At the number 2 spot, I went with Lucy and Maximus entering House's office at the top of the Lucky 38 casino, where they watched the NCR and Legion armies march toward a battle for New Vegas, with Lucy realizing it was her choices that led to this moment, and so she was responsible for all the people about to die, just like how our choices drastically affect what happens in the games, with seemingly moral choices often leading to unintended and devastating consequences. Maximus doesn't dispute her conclusion, but shrugs it off, simply saying, yeah, well, welcome to the Wasteland. All while the supercomputer behind them flickers from saying lost signal to a shot of Mr. House, possibly indicating he's still alive, and maybe even listening in to assess whether Lucy and Maximus might serve as agents to fight against the Enclave. And finally, we come to the best moment of the night, which for me was the opening Legion scene, where we learn their civil war has led to the death of the Caesar we met earlier in the season, and likely the rival Caesar as well, allowing the legate to drag the original Caesar's corpse into a tent and read the note of succession which says, "I am Caesar, I am the Legion, it ends with me." Which really seems true to the character we got to know in the New Vegas game, as Edward Sallow was extremely arrogant, believing no one was his equal, a sentiment echoed by his former legate Joshua Graham, who said no one could replace Caesar and the Legion would die with him. But of course, the legate played by Macaulay Culkin won't accept that, and kills the only witness before eating the note and taking the laurel crown to declare himself the new Caesar, uniting the remnants of their army to invade New Vegas, where they'll hilariously build Kaiser's Palace. I really enjoyed all the Legion stuff this season, and learning about the fate of Edward Sallow and his followers. I just wish we got more of it. For the best kill of the night, I returned to the Deathclaw fight scene, when the NCR Ranger rescued Maximus with an awesome slow-mo sniper shot, recreating an iconic moment from the opening scene to the Fallout New Vegas game. And for the best line, I went with Robert House telling the ghoul, "Like it or not, Mr. Howard, everyone works for me eventually." So overall, I have to say this was a pretty good episode that really left a lot on the table for Season 3. Although I may not have gotten everything I wanted out of the season, I really enjoyed almost all the storylines, and had so much fun trying to catch all the Easter eggs and references to the games. So I'm gonna give this episode and finale a strong 8 out of 10, and I really hope they're quick with Season 3 cause I can't wait to see more. And that's it for my review of Fallout Season 2 Episode 8, The Strip. But what did you all think? Are you satisfied with the conclusion of the season? What do you think of the Legion and House's storylines? And are you happy with the progress of our 3 main characters? Let me know in the comments below, and please check out my other Fallout videos, like a history of Caesar's Legion, a history of the New California Republic, a history of the Brotherhood of Steel, my Season 1 recap, and prelude to Season 2, all of which will be linked in the comments below. Although it may take a few weeks, I hope to make a Season 2 recap video, so be on the lookout for that. So for now, I want to thank you for watching all these reviews, and hope to see you all again next time. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Drac the Bronze, Warden of the X Christ Walder the Crimson Shadow, Zong the Black Wolf, and Lady J Book Nerd. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/CivilizationEx, where you can gain early access to videos and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.